People are upset and uncertain about a lot of things, from COVID to school to jobs to a whole range of things, and the cost of a gallon of gasoline. But I'm not sure that I would be able to have changed the number of very conservative folks who turned out in the red districts who were Trump voters.
It's never his fault. Biden's excuses for the results of yesterday's big election, with even bigger storylines on the direction of our country. Let's talk about it with host of the Trish Regan Show and editor-in-chief of TrishIntel.com, Trish Regan. Also with me is political analyst and host of Mark Halperin's Focus Group, seen right here on Newsmax, Mark Halperin. Hey, you guys. Trish, we'll start with you. What are your takeaways from Election Day 2021?
That culture matters, that the direction of this country matters, that parents matter, and Chris, that, you know, we want to have a say, we respect our individual rights, and when you start trampling all over them, people are highly offended. And you know what? It's not even party specific. This is something that really, I think, is just intrinsic to every American, the right to be able to have some say in the direction of your children's future. And the fact that this came down to that, the moment, the key moment being when the Democratic governor actually said that parents, you know, didn't have the right to do that, in that infamous statement he made in the debate, that's what was the game changer, because I think that's when people said, whoa, we've had enough. We have every right to be heard. And sure enough, they made sure their voices were heard at the ballot box yesterday.
Right, and the socialist reactions in government was to clamp down on those people. Mark, same question to you with a little bit of a twist. In a Democrat Party that has the mindset that when they get elected, it is they, not the people, calling the shots, can the Democrats actually learn from what happened when, well, the only one who seems to notice what happened is Joe Manchin?
Well, first of all, Chris, you referred to it as Election Day. Here in New York, we call it Christmas comes early in the Salcedo household. This is, I think what Trish said is exactly right. And part of why I think Democrats aren't going to learn from it is because within their friendly blue media bubble, they don't get it still. It's not hard to see. But even reporters I know who are parents, they don't really seem to get that that's what happened. That's the issue of liberty and this issue of your children's ability to be part of a society that's free. That's as big as anything else that explains what happened, along with the president's unpopularity. If you look at the president's press conference that you played a bit of there, he didn't do anything to suggest he was going to do anything different. He basically said, we're going to pass more of my agenda, and then we're going to sell it better, and everybody's going to be happy. And he sort of distanced himself from the current conditions that are making people unhappy. So if I look at the reaction from the president, from Nancy Pelosi, from others today, if you ask me, are they on a trajectory to change course and learn from what happened? I don't see that right now.
No, as a matter of fact, to your point, Trish, reporter questioned House Speaker Nancy Pelosi about the direction, what they could glean, and would it impact the left-wing agenda? Listen.
Does he change the agenda for the House now?
No. Are the negotiations wrapped up? What about immigration?
Okay, you couldn't hear it very well because she was behind a mask, but basically, no, doesn't change anything. Doesn't sound like socialists are repentant at all.
No, and this is going to be their downfall. I mean, they have an opportunity right now. Frankly, you know, look, to go back to their roots, to be the party for the everyday American, but they have been so sort of poisoned by this extremism, and that's just what I'm going to call it, you know, of Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Rashida Tlaib and the rest of them, that they really can't understand what's what right now. And that's a big mistake on their part, because listen, there's a whole group of people out there that maybe even aren't that political. They're trying to say, oh, it's, you know, the Trump supporters. I'm sorry. This is just basic sort of common sense. Parents want to have some say in their kids' education. And maybe they love CRT, in which case they should have the ability to voice that opinion. But the point is, parents need to have some say in their kids' education. We were set up as a federalist system. We have all these local communities and local governments that need power. When you strip them of that and you say it's all about top down from the federal government, people are highly offended. And Nancy Pelosi doesn't understand that. It's going to cost her the elections in 22 and I believe in 24 as well.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.